You know. All right. Hopefully, okay, we are recording. Um, Welcome. This is a training call for presented to you by independent Plexus ambassadors. It is September 3rd, 2016. I've been wanting to interview Stephanie Murray, Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, because she has an amazing health testimony. Her whole family has been affected health and wealth-wise by Plexus Worldwide and its opportunity. So first things first, I'm going to read a disclaimer. So the opportunity of a lifetime is brought to you by independent Plexus ambassadors. Well, this is a training for our ambassadors.
Okay.
And is not sponsored by Plexus Worldwide. At Plexus Worldwide, we want you to know that the results you are about to hear may vary from person to person, and we do not claim to cure, treat, or prevent any disease. And I think I'm also going to add that we don't make claims, like guarantees on income. Because that's based on personal effort. Okay.
Yep.
I think that's what I need to say.
I think we're covered.
All right, cool. We're done with that. All right. So I'm Christy Malone. I'm now Gold Ambassador, just new. I'm very excited.
Yay!
It's been a great journey. And Holly Ross is one on my team, and hopefully we'll have people joining along the way. That would be great. I'm even going to mute myself when you're talking because I have, I think, the Engineering Family YouTube channel on. And then, but just mute yourself if you're not talking, if you don't mind. And anyway, so first question I have, well, let me introduce Stephanie. I was actually wanting to interview Stephanie. First of all, she ranked up really fast with Plexus, and that's not normal, but normal for some, like Stephanie. So, but with that rank up, if you get a chance to see the salary disclaimer, what people make at certain
income disclosure. Yeah.
When you rank up that fast to Emerald in 11 months, there's a huge, yes, she was greatly blessed by health-wise and everything. I'll let her tell her story. But when you rank up that fast, you're making money fast. Mm-hmm. And what I respect about you, Stephanie, is that you got the training, the practical training you needed to protect your assets and all that. Started your own LLC for you because you're now a corporation girl.
Yep.
And I want to hear all about that because I was like, that's smart. Because honestly, I think you're pretty much, maybe I just don't follow many people, but you were out there with it. And I think was really good. So I'm going to let you talk more about that. Also, Stephanie, just so if you don't know Stephanie has two cute young boys. She's married to a veteran. So she, I guess, is a military wife. I mean, I don't know if you ever stopped being a military wife. You worked. I'll explain what your past job was. And so so we're going to talk about a lot of things. So the first question was, why did you start Plexus, Stephanie?
All righty. So, okay. So I started Plexus in January of 2014. So it's we're about 2.5 years into it, somewhere around there. And when I started, I just started to lose some weight. I had no idea. I honestly didn't even know there were other products. I didn't know there was a vitamin. I didn't know there was a probiotic. All I knew was Slim and Accelerator. All I knew was my friend Erica had dropped 2 pant sizes, and I desperately needed that. I had about 6 months prior to that, I had started working outside the home again. I was a stay-at-home mom for almost 3 years. And when my husband got out of the military, we basically switched roles. I started going back to work so that we could afford for him to go to school. And so I didn't want to. It was agonizing to make that decision to go back to work. And I got a job working for the Marine Corps as a civilian. So I worked as a family readiness officer, which means I was I was the only female in 1,000 Marines in an infantry unit, and I was the liaison between their families and their command. So I kept the families informed. I trained them on readiness and how to be resilient and kind of thrive in the military lifestyle, because it's really difficult. And then I also it's a little bit of a glorified party planner. So it was a lot of fun a lot of the time, and it was very stressful. But overall, I was around all these Marines all day long who are really physically fit. They PT every single day. And I had just had a baby 6 months prior. So I was the biggest I'd ever been. I didn't lose any pregnancy weight that time around. I just kept gaining because I was so stressed. And I did not feel good about myself, just, being surrounded by these fit people and being frumpy and fat and flabby. So when I saw my friend losing weight, I decided to give it a try. And I told her, I signed up as an ambassador just to get the discount. I maxed out a credit card. Literally, it's what, $135 to sign up, and I had to max out a credit card to afford that because we were that tight. And I did it, and I told her I wasn't going to tell anybody. I didn't want a business. And when my products came, my welcome pack came, I took a picture of it and sent it to her because I was excited. I believed that it was going to work from day one. I had no doubt that it was going to work for me. And I sent her that picture, and she said, "Oh, you should post that on Facebook." So I did, because I post everything on Facebook. I just figured I'd tell people, hey, I'm trying this thing. Again, no intention that I was starting a business, that I didn't have any intention that I wanted anyone to buy from me, nothing. And immediately people were curious. They wanted to know what it was. I had some people that ordered right away. I had a lot of people that just wanted to watch. But I just, from there, instinctively, I just kept sharing, like, okay, well, this is day one. I'm taking my pink drink. This is day two. I'm feeling good. Again, not trying to start a business. When people started ordering from me, though, I realized, I decided I wanted to know how I was going to get paid, really, because people were ordering from me. And from there, when I looked at the compensation plan, I realized what was possible. And that got me really excited, and the light bulb switched on, and I realized, wait a minute, I am so unhappy. I basically cried every day on my way to work. Every day I had to leave my babies. I'm unhappy having to drive 3 hours a day, commute to Camp Pendleton, and be in this high stress position and not ever see my family. I'm taking care of everyone else's families, but my family was on the back burner. So I realized that there was a possibility here to be able to leave that job and at least match my income. I was making about $3,000 a month doing all of that, never seeing my family. And I thought if I could just do that, and then be able to leave that job, that would be the world to me. So I got really passionate really fast, not just about the products, because the products were working for me, but also for the business side, because I saw what was possible for my family. So I know we're going to kind of go through some more questions, so I won't spill the beans on all of them, but I'll let you prompt me along, Christy. So that's why I started.
No, that's awesome. I mean, because that's important. Mm-hmm. In so many stories that I've heard, a lot of people get in just to lose some weight.
Yep.
And they just are out there, and people are like, oh, this is new. I want to try that.
Yeah.
That's why we always encourage you post on Facebook. Post
sure.
on Facebook. Be natural about it. Yeah. I do this every day. What do other people post about? What they have for breakfast. So do it. Yeah. So,
exactly.
Right. And so that's awesome. So I think the second question I want to ask is, now that you're at Sapphire,
mm-hmm.
If you could go back to the beginning, what would you have done differently that maybe, I don't know, went pretty well for you, I would say. But would you have changed anything in the beginning as an ambassador for the business, maybe?
Yeah.
Or even taking the supplements?
Totally. We actually just did a training a week or two ago with all my my jewels on my team for our Golden Above leaders, and we talked about learning from mistakes as leaders, like what we would have done differently and stuff. And so, just kind of from that perspective, what I shared with my team was really so from the beginning to Emerald, I was hard charging. I had complete blinders on. I had no idea what anyone else was doing, I didn't know who was a sideline. I didn't care. I honestly, I have a sponsor right above me who I had no idea what she was doing. I didn't care. She did not rank up as quickly as I did, which is a really cool feature of our compensation plan, that you can pass up the person above you. But, my blinders were on completely. And then I got to Emerald and I stopped and I looked around and started comparing myself to people and feeling like looking at other leaders and thinking, oh my gosh, they're doing all that. I'm not enough. Who am I? I just let the enemy start to whisper to me, like, you're not enough. What do you think you're doing? How could you possibly lead these people? And it totally affected me. And so, like Christy said, I went to Emerald in 11 months. It took me another year to go Sapphire. And that was all in my head. It was all just because I stopped and looked around and started comparing myself to other people. And I love, Christy, that you just went gold and that you've been so consistent. And I've watched you climb and climb and climb. And it's like you said, it hasn't gone as fast for you, but that's what is so awesome about it, that you can do that. And it doesn't matter if somebody else went gold in a month, but you can still do it. Christy, how long have you been in Plexus? You've been around for a long time.
This is my 2-year anniversary, but honestly, I've been earning since my first month. And even if I got that check for $200 to $300, and that's what I've been steadily making now, it's a couple hundred more than that. And that, you know what? It's what you put into it. Honestly, I'm a little lazy when it comes to doing it. No, just to be honest. And
yeah, I love that you can be
honest. And I don't make excuses. You just, if you want it, you got to put the effort in. And so, so it's all on me. Like, I don't blame anyone else. Like, if you want it, you can get it.
Yep, exactly.
And I've seen it over and over again. So I plan to get there, but I have to like say, look, stop being lazy. I'm just really laid back. So that's all. But no, but I'm there, right?
Yeah. So and the thing, it doesn't matter. There's no cookie cutter, version of, everybody does not go to Emerald in 11 months. There's people that have done it way faster than me. There was a lady at convention that, she was a senior Ruby for like 5 years. She sat at senior Ruby. She rocketed to senior Ruby and sat there. And then she finally, got to Emerald. And so it doesn't matter. Your journey can look different, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is not comparing yourself. That was one thing that I would have changed if I could have just kept my blinders on, not let other people's opinions affect me. And it's funny that a lot of people, I think that stops up people from even starting sometimes, or people really early in the beginning. They're worried about what people are going to think of them. And for me, that didn't kick in until I was Emerald. But so no matter where you're at in your journey, you just can't. You don't worry about what people think. You have a gift that you're sharing with people. You're going to make an impact on people. And so you need to share. Yeah, you might have people that are annoyed. Yeah, you might have people that try to derail you, or people that try to, call you a liar even, or question your integrity. But you know who you are, you know the truth, and you're going to help people. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to like echo that. Like, put your blinders on, enjoy the ride, because you're getting healthy. You feel awesome every day. Just count your blessings. Know you're going to bless other people. If you don't think your testimony is enough, share the thousands of other testimonies that are out there. And like, blinders, like, don't reinvent the wheel. If we're telling you to post, if we're telling you to be honest about what you're taking every day, don't be scared about talking about poop, and don't be scared to go pee every hour, because that's what it's going to take to get healthy. So that's all I have to say. Anyway, let's go to the next question.
Alrighty.
Anyways, Lemma Plexus. Okay. Tell us a little bit about your husband's testimony, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So when I started taking the products, I started taking the Slim and Accelerator, and probably about 2 weeks in, I was already losing weight, and Nate saw me losing weight, and I was on the computer one day. I think I was talking to people about Plexus, and he walked by and he said, "Hey, the next time that you order some of that stuff, will you get some for me?" And I said, "Okay, sure." Didn't think anything of it. And well, he actually said, I don't want you walking around like a 10 and I'm just over here like a 2. So he had gained a little bit of weight after getting out of the Marine Corps, because he wasn't forced to, PT anymore. He wasn't forced to be taking care of himself. So now at that time, I thought it was just a weight loss thing. He thought it was just a weight loss thing. And I ended up ordering Triplex for both of us, and X Factor and Accelerator. And he started taking it, and I had no idea that it was going to change him, do a 180. So similar to how I shared, I wasn't really, with the business side, I wasn't actively seeking a solution, even though it was miserable in my job. It was the same parallel with him and his health. He was miserable. I was just trying to get through. I honestly didn't realize how bad it was, because it was just my day-to-day life. I just kind of dealt with it, but it was really bad. He had a lot of stuff going on and this all stems from his military career, but both physically and mentally, his joints are just shot. He has degenerative discs in his back, so he had extreme back pain. All of his joints hurt. Migraines that you would not believe, just constant migraine, like never relief from it ever. And it had honestly been since he had headaches since he got back from Afghanistan, and then they just got worse and worse and worse. Migraines all the time. Could not sleep. Complete insomnia. If he did sleep, he would wake up from nightmares. So total PTSD issues. He had a traumatic brain injury, all kinds of acid reflux. So much was going on. And he basically, the VA had given him so many drugs, just, oh, you have this? Here, we'll add this. He literally was on over 20 medications. And he was just a zombie. A lot of the different things he had tried for migraines, there was one thing he tried, and I don't even know what it was called, but he took it, and when it hit his system, he couldn't walk. He literally had to crawl to the couch and just was there for hours. He was literally just a zombie. And again, I wasn't looking for a solution. I just thought, okay, this is the cards we've been dealt, and we're going to deal with them. So I know, people so many times, even if it's not that bad, or if it's not a health concern, but just in general, sometimes we just accept what we have as reality and accept the cards we've been dealt, and don't realize that there's a solution, that that it could possibly be better. And so all that to say, when he started taking Triplex and X Factor and Accelerator, he did a complete 180. And it honestly was probably 3 or 4 months down the road that I hadn't even realized I hadn't realized there was that much of a change in him, because again, you're just living it day to day. And we went over to his mom's house for dinner, and we were sitting at the table after dinner, and his sister was there, and he just cracked a joke, and we all kind of laughed. And then his mom stopped, and she looked at me, she looked back at him, and she looked back at me, and she said, "That's the first time I've seen my son again." And it hadn't hit me. I hadn't even realized that he was so bad, and that I was then seeing him again, because he's super fun loving and loves to just be, the life of the party, and always making jokes and stuff. And I hadn't seen that in years, and I didn't even realize it. So Plexus totally brought him back, and we're still working through things with him. And I always just kind of disclaimer that with, these products aren't going to cure somebody's PTSD or anything like that. We're still working with the counselors and stuff like that. You have to have behavioral therapy, because it's not going to take away what happened. But the products have absolutely helped all of the symptoms just reduce drastically, so that he can actually focus enough to get help and stuff. So that's his story. You're good. Yep.
Sorry, someone was asking
That's okay.
for ice cream. But I love that story. I love your husband's story. And I that is true. I think people see the testimonies and they're like, it's going to be night and day, and it's going to
Yeah.
stay that way. It's not, we're not curing, we're
Right.
helping cope in a healthy way. That's how I feel.
Yep.
Like if you're
Totally.
taking a vitamin, you might as well take vitamins at work. And I
Yep.
feel like taking Plexus is taking your vitamins the smartest way you can. That's how I
Yes.
feel. But
Absolutely.
to flip that coin to the business side,
Sure.
you always dream so big. Like, when did you make the goal of retiring at 25?
Okay.
Or
So
how did that change over time too?
so it was pretty quick when like I said, when I started having people order from me and I looked at the compensation plan, I really did see what was possible. I would sit up every night before I went to bed and I had the 11-way breakdown and a little notepad, and I just like would play with numbers. I would say, okay, like if I had this many points, how much would that be? And got really excited about the money, and what I could possibly make. And then I would, say, okay, I'm making $3,000 a month. And I've always been the one that does the budget in our household. Nate was always working, always deployed or in the field, so I always handled the finances. So I was kind of used to doing that stuff anyway, and I always used to just try to figure out, especially when it came down to like, should I go to work or not? Like, how much would I have to make to break even, or how much would I have to make it worth it, so that I can cover daycare and then it's actually paying for something. So I just kept playing with numbers, but it was really, really early on, and the light bulb just kind of hit that, okay, I can totally replace my income with this. And I kind of, I saw testimonies, I saw people above me that were already doing it. And I've never, in the beginning, I never second guessed myself. I just figure, and really in general, most of the time, if I see somebody do something, I'm like, well, I can do that. If they can do that, I can do that. I have no doubt. And that has honestly served me well. And that you can glaze over that point. Like a lot of people, they want to know, okay, well, how do I do the business? What are the, the structural things I need to do? Like I need to post and blah, blah, blah. And skim over when someone says you have to believe in yourself. But that is fundamental. That is step one, no matter what. If you don't have that in place, you're going nowhere. If you don't truly believe in the depths of your soul, like deep down, zero doubt that you can absolutely do that, you're not going to make it. You have to believe that you can do it, because that's where unshakable belief starts, in everything else. If you believe that you can do it, and you know that you make good decisions and that you're a smart person, then when people come around and say, oh, well, what is that? Like, oh, well, I want to see the clinical trials and blah, blah, blah. It's not even going to affect you, because you know what you know, what you know, what you know. So anyway, what was the question? Oh, when did I realize I could retire? Well, really from the beginning. And then it was just a matter of making it happen. And I, like, on a monthly basis. Now I did adjust my goals, and that's why I'm all about setting goals and setting big goals, and not beating yourself up when you don't make them. My original goal, so I joined in January, the very end of January 2014. My goal was to be, first, my goal was to be Emerald in time for Hawaii that year. That didn't happen, and you had to be Emerald by July, and in July I went Ruby. So then I adjusted my goal. I wasn't discouraged. Ooh, we got 10 minutes. Sorry. I wasn't discouraged. I just reset it, and I said, okay, by February, and then I adjusted it back to December, and I made it in December. So yeah. I know you have other important questions. We
Cool.
have 10
Yeah,
minutes.
I'm trying to now. I'm trying to see if okay. This is the main reason why I wanted to talk to you.
Yes.
Talk about the training you got for the financial to cope with this
Absolutely.
influx and to protect your assets.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
cover your assets.
Totally. Cover your assets. Okay. So I love that this was one of your questions, and because no one ever asks me about it. Well, not no one, but very rarely, because everybody else is focused on all the other stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is so important. So I've actually shared a lot of it with my jewels and stuff, that that you need to be protecting yourself legally, and there are certain, so when you start making money with Plexus, or really anything, if you have an increase in income, you know you just have to be really smart about tax laws and how to work all of that so that you're not just giving up all of your money that you're making. I'm not saying doing anything illegal or anything, but just be smart about it. So I I love learning. And so first I started reading a lot of books. Before I ever did Plexus, I did other network marketing companies. And one of them encouraged me to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so that was kind of really the start of my financial education. And so that was kind of like the eye opener for me, was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I totally recommend it to anybody. It's a really good start. And then Robert Kiyosaki has a lot of other good books. A lot of them are really redundant. It's the same thing in every book, but there's a really thick one, and I listened to it. It was like a long audible, but it's like the fundamentals of investing or something like that. So that's a really, really good one too. So I started there, and then I kind of got I got interested, and I heard that he has like workshops and stuff. He has a whole education side. Now I'm not plugging his seminars in any way. Honestly, I went to one and I started doing some real estate training and stuff, and I would not go down that path. Not with his company, especially because it's really expensive, and I got better training elsewhere. However, I just think the fact that I got around like-minded people, and they introduced me to other people, like different things to consider. So like legally protecting yourself with an LLC, and then having somebody who really knows what they're doing to work with you for your taxes. So I know that I can't keep up on tax code. And I also know that not all tax preparers or whatever they're called, the people that handle your finances, they're not all on the same page, and they're not all really well versed for small business owners. So I searched around, and I found somebody through networking, actually through a friend that I knew from a networking group. It was actually where she worked, and I talked to the owner of this place, and I love him to death. He does our taxes, and he basically is available for any like counsel and stuff. And his goal is basically to help small business owners, because we're so busy doing everything else, running our whole business. And we don't need to be keeping up on tax code. But so basically I filed for an LLC. So LLC is a, what is it, legal liability. Anyway, it protects you liability wise. So like if somebody sued you personally, so you get in a car accident and they want to sue you, they sue you. They can't touch your Plexus money because it's an LLC. It is its own corporation. It's basically, you have an EIN, which is like a thank you, limited liability. So it's basically like it has its own social security number. It's its own person. It's its own entity. So they can sue you. They can't sue your company. And so you're protecting your money that way. And then for tax reporting purposes, I file as an S Corp, which gives me different, it gives me, as a business owner, actually gives me more flexibility in what I can consider business expenses. And so my goal with my my tax guy is that that we basically can write off as many normal living expenses as business expenses, and you have more flexibility within the S Corp. But I'm not making any suggestions. You definitely need to talk to your people, but find a good I can't think of what he called, but he's a not just a tax preparer. What are they called? Anyway, but the finance guys. You have to find a good one.
A financial advisor?
Yeah, not quite a financial advisor though. He does more. But like like an accountant. Thank you. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
Thank you. Probably.
they're not all the same though. And like I'm confident with my guy. I know we're not doing anything illegal. I learn as much as I can outside of him, so that I can cross verify, trust but verify, right? Or don't trust but verify. Trust but verify. And so when I've talked to like my mom, who talks to their accountant, some guys are so old school, they're terrified to do anything, and it's not helping you. So I just think overall my advice for that is like, know your stuff. trust but verify, but know what you're looking for, and working with somebody who specifically works with small business owners, and yeah, because they'll know what they're doing. And like what I love about my guy is that he has one person in their office that their entire job is to read tax code, because it updates every day. They change the laws and stuff. So anyway, that's my spiel. I don't want to take up all the time. I don't know if that was the answer you were looking for, Christy.
No, that's totally fine. Like, no, I haven't had any other. I watched lots of trainings because I'm far away. I haven't heard anyone talk practically about the financial side. But so thank you very much for that. And people can find you on Facebook if they actually want to ask you more questions. And I had a few ambassadors that had some housekeeping questions.
Sure.
But I'll put those in the comments when I upload the video to
on your page.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're I could answer them myself, but it might be nice to have them
to have a different perspective.
Yeah, there you
go.
So thank you very much, everyone.
Of course.
We've got Gina. Hi, Gina. Sorry, we're just
Gina.
Now.
Hi there. We're gonna get kicked off in a second.
Yeah. So, Holly, do you have any questions? Sorry, we only have 2 minutes.
That's all right. No, this was really good training, and I'm glad to see the practical aspects, because it is a huge change in your income.
It is.
So it's exciting.
Yeah. And I've, okay, sorry. Let me plug one more good training. Orrin Woodward, and Chris Brady, they are network marketers, and they have a whole financial program. And it's a good investment, $200, but it's totally worth it if you can swing it or even get parts of it. They have like a little workbook, and they have a CD series that's really, really great, and talks a lot about not spending, especially network marketing. You're like, if come money, if I get gold this month, then I'll have this much money. So I'm going to spend it now because I'm expecting it. You'll never spend if come money. You only spend the money you have. So anyway, but yeah, Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady.
Always good.
Yes. Yeah. For anything.
Money until it's in your account. Anyways, well, I'll have to say goodbye because
it's going to kick us off.
Yep. And I hope you all have a great Saturday. Thank you for sharing your time and spending time.
Of course.
Educating yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I can't. Yay, go Plexus. Okay.
Yes. Bye.